I want to break free.
Hello my darlings and happy Halloween. It is the final day of October and Halloween is upon us and this is crooked. Oh, I think that's better. As you can see, this year's costume I've decided to go as Freddie Mercury in I Want to Break Free because that's how I'm feeling at the moment. So I'm going to speed run all of everything that's happened in my life. I've had a doozy of a month. It was the month of everything breaking. My washing machine, my dryer, my dishwasher, and this morning, my vacuum cleaner. So I've already replaced the dryer and the washing machine. They've already been replaced because I just could not afford to go without them. And now I've got more appliances just on the fritz, and it's just a bit ridiculous that it's all happened in the same week. That's some bad luck. And then this same week, the insurance agency called. They said that the guy who smashed into the back of my car on the freeway, his insurance agency will only agree for a knock for knock, meaning they pay for the zero damage his car received as he had a bull bar, and I have to pay for my own damages. So there was that. I also experienced extreme flooding this week. My house has always had flooding issues. This one was real bad. So I thought, you know what, you're just going to have to get another quote to redo the gutters or the roof again. And boy, oh boy, I was not prepared for that quote. I thought, oh, a couple thousand, oh, tens of thousands actually. So yeah, it's been rough. I've had a rough time, but what can I do? You know, my mum and dad thinks I've got some sort of demonic possession because of so many electricals, you know, getting broken, but I don't know, guys. Surely that's it now. Surely it just all happened in the same week and then smooth sailing for the rest of the year. That being said, my new washer and dryer, I'm pretty happy with them. You know, my other ones were a couple of years old, but still. I remember back in the day when washers and dryers used to last 20 years. Anywho, so yes, I just had a spate of unfortunate events. Health-wise, also trash. I get blood tests every 2 months. The doctor was a bit more alarmed than usual, and she suggested that I get myself tested for mold exposure. It's like, Chanel, could you have mold in my house? And I said, doctor, it rains inside my house when it's raining outside, so probably. So I've got to get that looked at as well. But there was some good news this month. So the machete gang that was terrorizing our street for 3.5 weeks straight, it did end up being the same crew that was caught in the CBD when they ran a woman down on Burke Street. So since those boys were arrested and then released the next day, they haven't come back here. So I'm hoping their crime spree on our particular street is done, because they were tied obviously to all of the robberies and break-ins on our street thanks to all of my neighbours' cameras, same boys. Whether they'll receive any sort of punishment for their crimes, probably unlikely. I don't know what goes on with the justice system in Victoria, but it's like, why aren't you looking into these boys' families? Why aren't their parents concerned that their 15-year-olds are not at home on a Monday at 4 a.m? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? What's happening? But at least I'm getting to sleep at night because no one's trying to break into any of the houses here. So that was good news. I also got to go to the Damiano David concert. Oh my God. As you know, I missed out on Måneskin, my favorite band, when they came, but this time I got to go. He's even more beautiful in person. I just heard that him and his beautiful girlfriend Dove just got engaged. Oh my God, the babies that those two, if they decide to have babies, will have. Genetic lottery. Like, absolutely gorgeous specimens of the human species. But yes, the concert was fantastic. I went with my cousin Phoebe and we had a great time dancing and singing away. I also went to a perfume event at Law Perfumery, one of my favorite places in Melbourne, and it was for the launch of a new perfume by Heretic Parfum, and it's called Haksan, and it's based on the movie by the same name, and they've launched it at Halloween. It was very funny when I first smelt it. The first image that came to my mind was me as a little girl playing with this Barbie Corvette car that I had. So it was giving plastic and playtime, but it's, you know, that was just the first image. It's always the first sniff of something is not always indicative of the actual tone and the dry down of a perfume. It's just, I sometimes get very vivid imagery upon a sniff of a scent. It's definitely a warm autumnal scent, and I'll do a proper review at some stage, but I just thought I'd mention it since I went to the launch of it. If I did anything else of note, I'll put pictures up, but at the moment it eludes me. Then I have films. So I did see some films. I only saw half of Him, which is a horror film, and it's about an injured rookie quarterback who accepts being trained by his idol, the GOAT, and the training camp ends up being less rocky and more midsummer. And it turns out that our mentorship comes with blood rituals, not protein shakes. I only saw half, but this wasn't as funny as I was thinking it was going to be. For some reason, I thought it was going to be funny. It's directed by the people from Key and Peele, and it had Jim Jeffries, who's an Aussie comedian, as part of the cast. So for some reason, I thought, oh, this will be a dark comedy horror. But no, it's just a regular horror. But I didn't see the end of that one because I had a massive POTS episode and had to go home. I did see in full The Roses, which is a remake of the original War of the Roses. And this is about a super successful, picture perfect married couple. We have an architect and a chef, and they seem to have it all. And then unfortunately, his career goes down in a ball of flames, and then her career skyrockets to the moon. And this causes resentment, passive aggressive digs, and a full out war. Look, it went so volatile and toxic to the point that I wasn't enjoying it anymore. It wasn't funny. It was just like, fuck, just get divorced. This is bad. This is real bad. I don't remember the original. I saw it as a child, but I thought based on the trailer, this was leaning more towards the comedy angle than the drama, toxic, violence against each other angle, but it ended up going to the latter. So I gave it a 3.5 still. It's got great actors in it. I didn't like Andy Samberg and McKinnon played an American couple in there, and they just kept doing these repetitive jokes, and I don't know, they got tired real quick. And then I watched Elio. So Elio is a Disney animated movie, and this is about a socially awkward kid who accidentally gets abducted by aliens who thinks he's the leader of the Earth, and instead of correcting them, he just improvs his way through the intergalactic galaxy. This didn't work. Look, I've given it a 3 because it's fine. It's fine. But even my kids were like, oh, meh. You know, it didn't have the right balance of anything, to be honest. Even the pacing was off and the way the story unfolded, and his aunt, who was his caretaker because both of his parents were dead, was in the military, and I was just like, that was a choice at the moment, considering the current climate. So yeah, it was okay. It was average. Now, music. I have to mention the latest Damiano song, Cinnamon. This is about an addictive, intoxicating love. It's sweet like cinnamon, yet poisonous and hard to escape. And I like it. Also, there is a song that has been stalking me. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but every single time I have turned on my car in the last 2 weeks, it's become a running joke now in my family. This song plays on the radio, and it is Where Is My Husband by Ray. And this is a retro soul pop song that's telling the story of a woman who is yearning for real love and commitment. And I'm like, that's just cruel, universe. Like, I get it. I understand that. That's what I'm going through. You don't need to remind me on a daily basis during a school run. Books wise, I read 39 books. In October, I had 1 5-star read, and that was Ketra by Kirsten McDermott. This is about Snow White, who ends up getting her prince and a baby, but still can't quit threatening to murder her stepmom every month. There's a lot of mummy issues in this, but this is very dark retelling, but it is also based on the original. And in the original, in case you didn't know, Snow White was 7 years old when she was in that coffin. So just think about the ramifications of that and her Prince Charming. My favorite book cover, I feel like it's just the mustache. I can feel the tickles. My favorite book cover was The Scald Crow by Grace Daly. I haven't written the author down on this. It's on my other channel, Wrap Up. Goddamn. Sometimes I don't transfer all the information across between the two. The 2 notes I take for the books and this, but it's a beautiful cover. Artist, Louisa Diaz. Sorry, I did write it. Just not in the spot it was meant to be. So that's the cover artist for The Scald Crow. And this was a horror book that very much focuses on chronic illness and abusive mothers. Now, perfume, my perfume of this month, it's very fitting for the spooky season. It is Tilda Swinton Like This by Ita Liberace. This smells like curling up in a cozy cottage with pumpkin spice ginger tea and a cat plotting in the corner. It's autumn sunlight on wooden floors, a sweater that smells faintly of incense, and Tilda whispering, stay weird, stay warm. Whilst slinging very worn and well-loved tarot cards, it's warm, spicy, a little odd, and very much giving a witchy aunt's kitchen on a rainy day. It's a very interesting scent. I don't know if it's for me, but it's one of those ones that you just compulsively sniff throughout the day, and it's unusual. Very October and autumnal. You know, I know October is spring here, but you know what I mean. Okay, outfits. My favorite outfit of this month was this, what I call Madonna's Like a Virgin dress. This is by For Love and Lemons. And I thought I was going to my best friend Kate's 40th birthday, but it turns out I got the day wrong, so that's on me. Now, candles. The candle of the month is by Dusk, and it is a forbidden pumpkin and pecans. It has caramel, vanilla, sweet pumpkin, nutmeg, and pecan praline. It just brings a little bit of cozy mischief and pumpkin spiced magic into your home during Halloween season. It's the perfect companion for haunted nights and curling up with a spooky read. Purchases, it was once again mostly clothes besides, candles. All right, so I did thrift some things this month. I thrifted this emerald green top by Ronnie Kobo. It is knitted cable and it's a two-piece, so you've got the sleeves and then the little singlet, so you put them on separately. I also thrifted this mint green sweater by Recto, just very cozy and warm. I also got this Gauge 81 square neckline black dress. Unfortunately, this was just way too fucking long for me. It's too big everywhere, the sleeves, the length. I actually can't walk in it properly. I trip over myself, so I will be hopefully selling this one on. I got this Alex NYC crew neck mini dress in this sort of rust color, and I love it. As you can see, I'm collecting all of the Alex NYC's dresses in this style with the buttons, and I don't know what it is, but I love them. They're made out of cotton. They're very comfy. I think they're subtly sexy. I'm a fan. I also wore to the Damiano concert this Mac and Mac V-neck mini dress, which had the embellishments. As it turns out, I'm not an underboob lady. I thought I'd give it a go, but I was just too self-conscious of popping out. I think with underboob stuff, it's better if you have implants. You've got the fake tartars, because they stay put. They don't move, so your underboob will stay with that level of underboob. But when you got real sloppy, jalopy, floppy, movable titties that like to change shape and size and position at whim, it's a bit too much of a risk of what's going to make an appearance, So I was just constantly adjusting to keep the same amount of titty out, and I thought, this is not for me. I'm too uncomfortable and I can't relax. So I'm going to try and sell that one, not right now because it's spring. Consignment stores around here won't sell anything that's not seasonal, so I'll have to wait till next winter. And then the last thing I thrifted was this Love and Lemons midi length dress, and that was everything that I thrifted. So I thrifted a decent amount. Like I said, I got a big thrift piggy bank from all the clothes that I have sold. Unfortunately, if you watched my last wrap up, I think I mentioned I was on the hunt for a birthday dress since I'm turning 40 in November, and because of the drugs I'm on, I've gained weight, so nothing in my closet fit. I thought I found something. It was this H&M Balmain green sequin dress. I'll put the original up here. I bought it off Depop, and when it arrived, it was a top. This lady shrunk the shit out of it. It only went down to here on my arm, the sleeves. Couldn't zip them up either. And the length, let's just say, if I put my arms up, I'd be Winnie the Pooh Bear. And I told the lady, I said, love, this ain't a dress, it's a top, unless you're a child. It's not wearable as a dress, so it shouldn't have been classified as a dress. I'd like to return it for a refund. And she said, no, I don't accept returns and refunds. So I contacted Depop and they're like, welp, case closed, sorry. She said no. And that was it. So much for buyer protection and returns and refunds. Turns out that if the seller says not going to do it, tough luck. You're out of your money. So that was a painful one because that dress was still expensive secondhand, but can't wear it. It's not wearable because it's not meant to be a top. So it's an awkward length. But who wants a top that goes this far off the end of your crotch? You know what I mean? It's just, can't do anything with it. So I'm just going to stick that in a donation bin. Maybe someone can find some use of it, but it's got bad juju now because the whole exchange with the lady in the place left a sour taste in my mouth. Oh, we're not doing any more business with Depop going forward. So I'm just going to have to try and make do with something in my closet. It's not going to be what I wanted. You know, since I'm actually throwing myself a birthday party, haven't had one since I was 21, I wanted something with a bit of va-va-voom. I wanted a special, you know, extravagant dress to remember my 40th party, but it just hasn't happened. Look, I've still got another week to find something. I don't like to buy a brand new, and I have a very, very small budget because of all of the unexpected, very expensive expenses that have been thrust upon me at the same time. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know if my weight changes, I might be able to fit back into some of the clothes in my closet. If not, pray that I find something last minute somewhere that's in my budget and decent. But yeah, what can you do? You know, it's not about the dress at the end of the day. It's about spending time with my loved ones. And I've always got next year to find the perfect frock for my birthday. Okay, so what else? Kickstarter. Yeah, so as you know, I've been on a low buy this entire year because I went nuts when I first got into tarot and accumulated, and then I got overwhelmed and I decluttered like a maniac. And I decided, yes, not too many Chanel. You don't do well with a big collection, because I'm someone who likes to use their possessions. I'm not a collector. I can't just have things sitting there besides books. That's the only thing that I can tolerate sitting there, because I've already read them and they're there if I ever want another read. But they're more trophies. They're like, oh, these books are amazing. I wanted to support that author financially because they wrote a book that touched me. That's the exception. Everything else, clothes and decks and that, I have to use them. Otherwise, I feel like they're languishing here. Their spirit is not being honored and they should be moved on. So I only like a certain amount of decks in my collection at one time, because I can't possibly get through, like, touch all of them and use all of them in a year. And that is the aim. If there's a deck that gets completely unused in a 365-day period, I probably should get rid of it. But so I didn't buy any for a long time, because I also went on a creation binge, and I knew that I would have to save up to be able to buy 5 decks at once from MPC, because we all know MPC charge exorbitant prices. It's ridiculous. It doesn't matter if you've made your own deck, you're still paying big bucks, especially in Australia, because of all the shipping and everything else. So I needed to buy 5 decks in a row. Then after that, I thought, Chanel, treat yourself. It's your 40th birthday. Buy some of the decks that are on your list. If I see a deck I like, I put it on my list. But also, I've been staying away a lot from TarotTube, because I don't want to be made aware of something, because my list is already quite long with a lot of decks that I do want. And it's just, it makes me upset because I can't buy straight away, you know? Anyway, so I picked some decks to purchase off that list, and I backed something on Kickstarter. So I was almost about to back Wild Providence, which is an oracle deck. Unfortunately, they didn't show an example of the guidebook. And with an oracle deck, I do need to see how the guidebook is written, because I'm going to be referencing it. So I didn't get that one. Instead, I got, why does it say Wish Sublime Thresholds? I'm not sure if that's a typo. It sounds a bit odd, but the pictures will be up on the screen. Or maybe I swapped that. I don't know, guys. One of these decks is the one I bought. One is the one I didn't. I'll write it all up on the screen. Like I said, this month has been absolutely cuckoo, and I am frazzled, but not bedazzled, unfortunately. So yes, I did back one deck on Kickstarter. I also purchased another one of my decks from MPC, which was Arcadia. I got Witchy Wisdom Oracle from Rochelle, the Fairy Tale Oracle from Broccoli, and Folkloric Forest, which I mentioned was, what's the word? Inspirational for me in regards to my 2 Oracle decks, Details and Notice. And I wanted, you know, this deck because it was on my wish list and I was besotted with it. So those were the 4 I got. Shop wise, once again, I'm struggling to keep up with inventory. You lovely, lovely people have been buying all my bags out. And because of life at the moment, I'm just not crocheting as much. I just don't have enough time. You know, I'm calling up, getting quotes, organizing delivery men, doing research on what appliances to purchase, getting my insurance sorted out. It is just hectic. You know, I just haven't had a chance to really sit down and crochet. That being said, I'm running out of yarn. I've been saying this a long time. I think I've got maybe 2 months left and that's it. I'll be all out of yarn, and then I'll only be adding bags if I go and buy new yarn because I bought a new deck. So if I get a new deck in, I always buy new yarn to suit that particular deck. And often, not always, I might have enough left to make a second bag, which is when I pop them on Etsy. But yeah, it's going to be, I don't know, you know, maybe 1 bag a month going into next year, if that, because like I said, I'm still going to be going on a bit of a low buy, you know, almost deck ban, because I've got to save up so much money to get my roof and gutters fixed. I can't treat my house for mold and treat myself for mold until I stop the cause of the mold, which is the rain in my house. And I can't do that until I fix my roof and gutters. And I can't do that until I've saved up the money. So insurance doesn't pay for that stuff either, by the way. The first time I had the flooding, they said, yeah, that's considered, wear and tear of an old house, and that's not covered. It's not a fault. It's just your house is old and we don't insure that shit. So it's for nothing. It's pretty much, I think house insurance is pretty much if a tree falls on your house or your house burns down. If you have other issues that are considered, oh, well, it's just from the passage of time, isn't it, darling? Then they won't fix anything for you. I think that's everything. I've been babbling a lot. Obviously, it's Halloween today, so my kids are being taken out by their dad and their grandmother to go knocking on other houses. There's not many in Australia. Like if you have a whole street, maybe one house on the street will do Halloween. So, in a suburb, there'll be like 20 houses max. But I'm doing it, so I'll see how many kids I get this year. It's always more each year, but I will leave you with the decks. So I didn't do a walkthrough for the folkloric forest, but I did do a flip through and first impressions, if you will, because I've only seen the deck once when it first launched, and I thought, oh, I want that, can't buy it right now. And then I never watched another flip through again. So it was sort of like almost a really first impressions, view again, flip through it, and I did a few pairings as well. And yeah, I'll leave you with the crochet and the decks. Until next time, stay well, Star Child. And also, if you dressed up for Halloween, tell me what you dressed up down below. I'm always looking for future costume inspiration. Hey guys, I just listed these and they've already sold. It was almost instant, but we've got this merino wool 8-ply with the flower button. This one was in a relaxed fit. And then I have this also 8-ply merino wool in blues with like a blue flower button. This is a snug fit. Then I had this red, white, and blue and silver. It's got metallic threads in there. And this was a snug fit. And then I had this merino wool / organic cotton combo. Yes, darling. In 12-ply, and this was a snug fit. Okay, I've got some more bags from my daughter's yarn stash. So I've got just this plain pink wool in 8-ply. This is a snug fit. So these are priced cheaper because the yarn is cheaper. So I price my bags based on the cost of the yarn. So I've got this one here, which is a wool and cotton. So this is 16-ply. So this is very chunky, snug fit. Then we've got this sort of soft baby blues and pinks and white. And this is a 16-ply. This is a wool in a snug fit. Then we've got this gradient cotton in like grays and baby blues. This one is a relaxed fit. And then we've got a bag that I was making for the Fairy Tale Oracle. This is a merino wool in a 5-ply. And then I decided I don't want to actually get rid of the box because I'm not sure about the Fairy Tale Oracle. So I don't know, I'll just sell this for cheaper because it is a 5-ply, which is normally less than what I normally do ply-wise for the bags, but I've got no use for it, and I don't want to keep it around. So this was a wool, merino wool and silk blend. This is a snug fit as well. Okay, and we also have this bag. So this is a 9-ply and it's got a sparkly button. This is in merino wool. This is a wide bag, so it's for long skinny decks. I thought I'd just put one there in the store. Okay, so here it's so dark. Sorry guys, I've got Halloween decorations in all the windows, so we've got no light. This is a grey and green wool. This is a 16-ply in a relaxed fit. One of the wools are tweed, and tweed is what I call a hairy wool. You might have noticed I had almost no bags left in stock on my store, and that's because the lovely Candace pretty much bought my entire shop up. That was the biggest order I've ever seen in my life, but I am trying my best now to crochet as many bags as I can to just slightly pad the store up again. Okay, so here we've got a silvery grey merino wool in 8-ply, and this is a relaxed fit. Hello my darlings, it's Chanel, and today I am looking at the Folkloric Forest Tarot. This is by Lennox Rees. So I'm not doing a walkthrough. There's a million walkthroughs for this deck. I'm just doing a sort of first impressions because I haven't actually looked at the deck since it was first released, and I just put it straight on my wish list and then forgot about it. As you know, I've been on a low buy year, and I also haven't bought really anything because I was saving up to be able to purchase my own decks that I created, because we all know Make Playing Cards charge ridiculous prices. And then, you know, once I made my decks and ordered them, I decided to treat myself to one deck off my wish list for an early birthday present, since it's my birthday next month. So I picked this one. So yeah, I'm just going to look through it again and do sort of a first impressions after having not seen it since it first came out. I did pay $107 for this deck. So it comes in a tuck box. I don't like tuck boxes personally, but this is a very good quality one, and it's got a lovely texture to it, and I didn't actually break it opening it, which is rare for me. So that is the box. I've already made a little bag for it, so I did it to sort of, where's a card, sort of match the backs of the cards. So that's what I went for. This came with some freebies, so let me show you. So we've just got the website where I bought it from. It's got this bookmark, which is double-sided, and it's got this rose petal postcard, which says thank you for your support on the back. So let's take a look at the guidebook. So I don't really remember a lot about this deck, but I liked the idea of it and the theme. So it's matte paper, and it's about the creative process, and then about the cards, the mages, and then it goes into it. So let's see, we've got the title, we've got 3 keywords, and this is talking about falconry, and it's got the artwork down below. So I think it's kind of about the energy of the card, but also it seems to be about whatever's on the image mostly. So I'll read one of them later after I go through. I think the backs are gorgeous. So I love the image in the middle with all the animals and the gold around the edge and the beautiful wallpaper on the background. This is an interesting cardstock. Oh my goodness, what is this? This is very thin. It's matte. I have never seen, and it looks like there's a linen finish on it as well. I have never seen this cardstock before. I think it's pretty cool. We'll see how it holds up. I love the forest green matte edging. I think that's stunning. So it seems like a very beautiful quality deck, but very interested by that cardstock. Very interesting. Okay, so we've got the full. So this is the Falconer's bag. So this one I think includes found art, but what they've done is they've, in some cases, zoomed in on something in particular. So it's got a beautiful gold border, which is very unobtrusive, and it's foiled with the title down the bottom and also the number of the card as well. And sometimes, like you can see with this one, the images will go on top of that gold line, which I think is such a nice touch. We've got some different naming. So we've got the seer. I think when it comes to classic art, sometimes the quality, you don't really have a lot of control over it in terms of the resolution. So I'm expecting some to be a bit furry. The maiden, interesting, instead of the empress. So we've got trees for the emperor and empress. We've got the guardian. It's beautiful. And then the elder for the hierophant. Got an older gentleman there with a book. All the lovers. See, I really like seeing different people's interpretations of things. I think that's very sweet with the running of the water and the flowers blooming. Interesting. We'll see. It'd be interesting to see how this reads for me and how I interpret it in a reading. Chariot with the horses. Strength with the, is it a ram? And the lady and a broom. Ooh, interesting, that one. We've got the hermit, love it. Skulls, lantern, text, perfect. Beautiful. I love this picture. Look, I'm a sucker for a floral, especially wildflowers with the dandelions and the daisies, and I forget what these are called. Forget-me-nots, right? Gorgeous, love it. Justice, with the swords. I do love that they've gone over the edging as well, but this is just gorgeous, gorgeous quality. The sacrifice instead of the hanged man. Okay, look, that's a bit hard to stomach, that picture. I might have to brace myself for some animals in peril in this death. That's sad. Oh, dogs. I know you hear all those stories about dogs still waiting for the deceased owners long after they're gone. Beautiful temperance image. Very autumnal, that one. I hope the rainbow's not bothering people. The devil. Oh, see? Oh, ugh. Yeah, we've got the owls consuming the mice. Predator prey. Oh, yuck. Tower, yep. Broken tree. Probably most likely from a storm. Very stormy and tempestuous. We've got the star with the ladies bathing at the pools. Love it. Interesting to see all of the titles of these images. The moon. They've got some spectres, some ghosts. I just want to see where that one's from. I feel like I've seen the bigger picture of that one. Where is the moon? The fairy dance. No, I have not. Karl Wilhelm Diefenbach. Deutsch. And we've got the sun, another beautiful fairy photo. I mean, there's so many artworks out there. And even though I've done, oh my God, so many decks now, and I've curated over 400 artworks in my decks. There's thousands more that I haven't found and stumbled across yet. So Judgment. I don't love that Judgment, not gonna lie. Like, that's not doing it for me, for Judgment. With the, I'm guessing, the two old souls waiting to be judged. The world. Yeah, I don't mind this one with the insects and the apple. They're pollinators, bees and butterflies. Ace of Fire. I'm surprised they've done a destruction one for that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the plants. I forgot the term for them, but they're the plants that seed after fires. That would make sense to me. Two of Fire. Lovely. It's a lovely painting. I wonder if they've, I'm guessing they've taken this image and they've overlaid it onto their own background. Because I'd be surprised if the background was these sorts of red satin curtains. I'm going to look that one up to see, is that the actual just image straight pasted, or have they collaged that? Three of Fire. 4. It's very homely, I guess, that one. Very simple and humble rather than the big celebratory energy I sometimes associate with Four of Wands. Eey. Wouldn't want to come face to face with that dude. 6. I like that image, but yeah, I'm a sucker for skulls and books and things. And just, you know, ephemera all around. Oh, okay, so to the symbol, so wands, they've actually done a wand. Like a Harry Potter wand. 7 of Fire. Yeah, this is harsh, man. There's some cards in here that are very confronting for me. 8. Got a stag or a deer running away. Not great with gendering animals. 9. 10. So are these wasps attacking a beehive, or is it just a wasp nest? Page. Knight. Is this a bobcat or a lynx? Very pretty. So I'll probably associate this animal more with pentacles over fire. So now we've got the cups, water. I love the still life paintings, especially. I think it was the Dutch that really went off with the sort of table settings too. Very cute. I love birds. I'm a sucker for birds. We've got a bear with her cubs playing. Gorgeous. So sweet. 4 of Cups. Yep. She's looking pretty like over it and just done. She's just done for the day. Just 5 of Water. So decay and death, but also life. 6 of Cups. I guess maybe, you know, but what's it called? The sort of childhood thing of encapsulating time capsules sort of idea. 7. Just lots of pots and pans and bread and just an everyday setting to me. 8. Stairs out of a river. An exit. 9. See, for me, I would have chosen something for Nine of Cups, more vibrant than this is very, like I said, feeling autumnal. I probably would have chosen something with a bit more colour and vibrancy, but Ten of Water, yeah, family with their goats. Page, a little fishy. Knight, horse, duck for the Queen. Okay, so they've done a pair this time. The other one were two different animals. This time they've done similar species. Ace of Wands, lots of different ephemera and writing tools. Okay, 2. 3. Oh no, did that just get shot out of the... Ay. 4, bunnies resting, very cute. 5, we've got a fight. 6, what's going on here? So it's just a ramshackle passageway through a canyon, so to speak, or a valley or whatever. I don't know I can't remember the right term. 7. So there's not many humans in this, but there are some. 7, 8. Just keeping their neck above water for 8. 9. So you got hounds on the scent. 10, butterflies stuck in a web. Jeepers creepers. Okay, then we've got page squirrel. And we've got, what, see, why, the Knight of Air with a bunny hiding from a fox. Okay, yeah, there's some I'm not sure I jive with, but you're always going to have that. Queen is a swan, and then we've got an eagle, falcon, is that prey? Yep, it's eating something. It's eating something. Ace. It's a dam. It's being blocked by fallen stone. 2. So some dude's heavy in his books. He's locked in. 3 of Earth. People around a campfire. 4 of Earth. I use this card as well. For 4 of Earth, same thing. That's funny. Same one. 5 of Earth. Looks like you got poisonous toad that's dead. Some snail and some other insects. I love this one. This one's iconic, I think. I see it all the time, people picking favorites. And there's just something about bright red berries like strawberries and raspberries that just pop. I think all of my decks have at least one berry picture because I'm obsessed. 7. 8. So it looks like a dilapidated barn. Or I guess a workplace maybe. 9. See, that's very decadent and abundant. 10. So some quails, I'm guessing. And their family. Little chickies. Okay, we've got a bunny. We've got, it looks like either a wolf or a coyote. Some of the courts were either like aggressive or violent, which I thought was interesting. We've got Queen, which is a ewe, and then a moose. So sometimes same animals for the courts. Let's do a shuffle. Look, it's a fantastic shuffle. I can't even riffle shuffle, and that was like pretty close. So let's read 2 of them because I want to see how they go. King and Strength. They are, look, this quality feels beautiful. This is a stunning feel. It looks luxurious and expensive. It's very luxe. Let's see how it's written. So we've got the Strength. Acceptance, confidence, potency. The goat charges forward with wild eyes fixated on the shadowy path into the cave. The rider, a witch, yeah, I suspected that, leans forward and syncs every movement with the goat's boundless energy. A grim look marks the witch's weathered face as each crease tells of past adventures. There's no giving up. Both beings are united by a pact, accepting the unpredictability of the kinship. To surrender echoes the teachings of strength. When control is released, a new way evolves through patience, humility, and trust. It's an opportunity to confront the darkness with an open heart and grounded spirit. Witches, noita in Finnish, are known to call upon animals, communicate with spirits, and move through other realms. They are typically depicted as solitary rebels and outsiders, often feared and revered for their intimate knowledge of elemental magics. This is A Witch's Sabbath by Cornelius Saftleven from the 1600s. Very cool. All right, let's see King of Fire. Protection, vision, strength. A stag stands atop a rock, looking at the vast expanse along the forest's edge. Its commanding presence proudly transmits a feeling of honor, respect, and authority. With its antlers held high, the stag is swift and capable of defending its territory, guiding its herd and pushing into new habitats. As an admirable entity in the wild, the stag leads with dignity and conviction like the King of Fire, who embodies leadership and vision. The stag's antlers, which shed and regrow each season, reflect the ongoing responsibility to protect, inspire, and face challenges with fiery determination. The stag's life requires resilience, adaptability, and endurance to face nature's challenges. It's known for its capacity to survive the unforgiving landscapes of the forest. It represents inner resilience and the wisdom that comes from the wilderness. This is Der Kapitalhirsch by Karl Friedrich Dijker, and it's from the 1800s. So that's interesting. For me, because deer are generally, prey animal rather than a predator, for me, I will just correlate predator animals with the wands rather than prey animals. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily correlate that, but I can see now their reasons for why they've done it. Look, this is an absolutely stunning deck. Once again, the backs are gorgeous. I just love it. And it's so moody. It definitely feels, for me, I would say autumnal overall is the energy of this. This cardstock is nuts. I'm going to see if they've written what exactly this is, because this is very cool. I don't know how it will stand up over time, but it's gorgeous. I love matte linen. The only other matte linen I have, this isn't very textured. This is very fine. This is super fine. And so that you can also see the pictures are very clear. The other matte linen that I've come across is the beginner's tarot deck. What's it called? I'll put a picture up. The Saint Soleil one. And that's my favorite cardstock. So this is now also one of my favorite cardstocks. Just matte linen does it for me. And I absolutely love matte gilded edging as well. So yeah, this is a stunning deck. I don't have any regrets choosing this as my birthday gift to myself from my wish list. I think it's beautiful, and it's going to go with so many of the decks that I've just made too that are the found art. So, you know, even though I've also just made a nature tarot deck, I wanted something as well, you know, because sometimes you like to switch things up, change things up. So I wanted another option. It's got the stars for the pentacles, in case I didn't point that out previously. But yeah, okay, that judgment card I really don't like. Look, yeah, there's a few I don't like. Obviously, the animals, killing other animals, that's hard to swallow for me. But that's the wild. That's the cycle of life, guys, nature. But yeah, this was very stunning deck. Very happy. And it is the Folkloric Forest Tarot by Lennox Rees. So that was my little, oh, this is the hairy tweed yarn. I keep thinking, oh, it's got cat hairs. Nope, that's just the yarn. Okay, I thought I would just do a few quick pairings. I've paired it with the Southern Gothic Oracle. So we have Passion, Feminine Power with the Two of Cups. Longevity and Reliability with the Ten of Cups. Division, Lessening with the Queen of Cups. Divinity Ore with the Three of Swords. I'm now pairing it with the Mushroom Oracle. We have Safety, Home, Attachment with the Eight of Pentacles. Six of Wands, Sweet, Surprising, Delightful. Five of Pentacles, Generous, Indulgent, Pleasure. The Sacrifice, which I think is the Hanged Man, with Feast, Heroic, Multitasker. Eight of Wands, Openness, Wonder, Joy. The Magician, Transformation, Merging, Circularity. Six of Cups, growth, sustenance, patience. I am now pairing it with the Details Oracle. So we have Ace of Cups with Decay, Symbiotic, Network, Underworld. The Hermit, Nourishment, Gratitude, Balance. Two of Wands, Guardianship, Instinct, Loyalty, Provision. Seven of Fire, Adornment, Memory, Hidden Meaning. Six of Earth, Treat, Memory, Tenderness, Present. Queen of Pentacles, Docile, Freshen, Joy, Liveliness. Five of Swords, Remembrance, Reverence, Mourning, Spirit. Justice, Authority, Responsibility, Legacy, Discipline, Power. 10 of Swords, Hush, Transition, Hidden Depths, Regeneration. Three of Pentacles, Temptation, Wealth, Transformation, Surrender, Greed. Nine of Pentacles, Power, Humility, Balance, Choice. The Wheel, Natural, Fertility, Humble, Softness. And Nine of Cups, Ease, Sensuality, Playfulness, Adornment.